Welcome back. So now you've learned a bit about the different types of conditions and or and statements we can use. You can go and try and change this into something more readable if you still feel this is too complex to understand, which is fine, but try and change it then. Try and play around with it if you can figure out another way of doing the same thing. I guess you can, but you'll need a lot more lines than what we have right here, and that is okay. Try and play with it. That's how you learn to use these statements, okay? Okay, let's try and have a look. Here we have our program right now. We clear the console, we write a line. Let's just try and run it. I'm going here, I'm going to select this as the startup project, my console app 5, the small menu, and it pops up like this. And I can now press one of the menu selections. If I don't put in a menu selection, it'll just jump back, right? Like we did. If it says you have to select something, and let's just say 1, and there we go, it's done with the menu. But we need to use this int value that we return for something, right? So we are actually returning a number, a selection down here. I want to use that now. So I'm going to make a selection right here. Selection equals. That's how I pull out the actual int value. You'll see here that it actually says in the tooltip that you return an int value right here from the show menu that you just made. Now notice that I use the same name selection here because that's outside of the scope of the method. So the method scope also uses the word selection, but that doesn't matter because as soon as this method is done, this word is cleared again, so I can use that word again, right? So this is inside the method scope, but when the method has exited, I can use the exact same name up here. That's very important to notice, but I can also put in any other name that I want instead. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to do a small paste here, because now what I want to do is I want to use the selection to either print list customers, add customer, delete customer, edit customer, or bye-bye if I'm actually done using if-else statements. So this is all fine and dandy. Let's try and run this. And now when I select something in the menu, it'll actually print out what selection I did. Let's just try and zoom out a bit and let me try and write 3, and then it should say delete customer, and of course the program shuts down. So we're still not there yet, but now the menu will start explaining actually to me, depending on my selection, what I actually selected. So I print 2, and it actually prints out to me add customer, right? Great. So now I've done this with the if-else statement. One thing I want you to notice is you do not need to follow the syntax or the idea on how to follow the syntax. You're actually allowed to do it like this if you want to in the C# language. There's no rules that you have to put it in a specific way. So I could actually just add it like this. I just feel this is not that readable. You could also use the Java syntax, more like this, where we kind of just use the first line to add the curly bracket. But in C# again, they really encourage you to use their way of writing code, which is a new line for each curly bracket. I just want to add that as well. Let's try and change this into a switch statement next time. Have fun.